Hello, I'm Karen and welcome to this presentation of Super Uncontested Divorces in Washington State. This is a short presentation to go over the basic processes and answer some common questions. For purposes of this presentation, I'm going to call Super Uncontested Divorces ones that involve two healthy individuals who are equally situated financially, that are both fully participating, and they can divide their assets and debts without intervention needed, and also ones that don't involve minor children. So what is the basic process? Let's look at King County. First, prepare your paperwork with your spouse. You'll find all the forms you need on the state forms database as well as the county database. You'll sign a joinder, which avoids the need for personally serving. After you've signed everything, you can file your paperwork with the court. This can be online, in person, or by mail. Don't forget to include the filing fee or get a fee waiver if you meet qualifications. Now for the waiting. Washington State has a 90-day cooling off period in case you change your mind, which does sometimes happen. After 90 days has passed, you can now file your final paperwork and you're divorced. Simple, right? What makes this hard for a lot of folks is purely learning curve. Lawyers have been through this process hundreds of times. Procedures change regularly, so it's a lawyer's business to know how to do things and what's different now. When I see people who have started this process themselves, what I mostly notice is that they don't know what pieces of paper they need. Sometimes they're missing something vital, and sometimes they have pieces they don't even need whatsoever. Even if they eventually get the right set of paperwork, they don't know how to process it within the court system. Now let's turn to some common questions that I hear. Do I need a lawyer? There is no requirement that you hire an attorney. Plenty of people get divorced by themselves. When you don't have an attorney, you are called pro se, which is a Latin term that means for oneself. Bear in mind, if you are pro se, you are held to the same standard as an attorney and are expected to know the law and your rights. If you need legal advice or you don't have time to learn to be your own attorney, these might be good reasons to hire one. What happens if I'm not ready in 90 days? 90 days is the minimum cooling off period. If you need more time, you still have time, but you don't have unlimited time. At some point, the clerk will close your case if it's been sitting there for years and you've missed your trial date. There are also court deadlines, so it's best to finish up a super uncontested case towards the earlier end of your case schedule, which is a piece of paper you get when you do start your case. Do we both have to live in King County or Washington to get divorced there? At least one person needs to be a resident in the county where you are filing. Of course, both of you have to agree on the venue, which means the county where you are filing. There are some exceptions. Lincoln County, for example, allows you to file and finish a remote divorce. But what if something goes sideways? Do you really want to go to the Lincoln County courthouse? Do you even know where Lincoln County is? Do I have to stay in Washington or King County until the divorce is finished? Some people move after they've started their case. They move out of county, out of state, and even out of the country. This is probably fine in a super uncontested divorce, but if anything goes sideways, you'll probably want to stay close so you can go to court. Bear in mind that at the current time after the pandemic, many court hearings and even trials are by Zoom online. Recognize these people? They got divorced in Washington State, and anyone can go online and pull up their court docket. Their docket is skinny. It shows some out-of-state attorney appearing pro hoc vice, which is a Latin phrase meaning for this event or for this specific occasion. The barest bones paperwork is filed and there's not a shred of detail involved. This doesn't mean that they don't have a 100 or 200-page property settlement agreement somewhere in a file cabinet, but it's not public record. So do you have to list your bank accounts? You'll need to balance your privacy interests against your need to enforce the details. People sometimes worry that the court will dispute their agreement. Hey, if you are two competent adults, there's no minor kids involved, and you've got agreed orders, and especially if you have attorneys involved, it seems unlikely the court is going to find the time or reason to poke around, dig for details, and ask you to prove that everything is fair. The pandemic brought about some big changes in our courthouses. Our area has been a tech hub, and King County adapted to online pretty well. So well, in fact, that the courthouse is pretty darn empty most days. As attorneys, at least, we do most things from our computers. Litigants also benefit. An online-only presentation of agreed orders without kids are routinely presented without requiring any appearance by the parties themselves. So how long until you're officially divorced? Once the paperwork is submitted, the final paperwork, it usually takes about 1 to 3 court days to get a judge or commissioner to sign them. If you chose an email and paid up front, you can get the certified order back pretty quickly. Well, that's a short presentation of super uncontested divorces in Washington State and how do I get one? Thank you for watching. As per usual, consult with an attorney in your jurisdiction for advice specific to your situation. Bye for now.